Tell me what you liked about the way the Heat came out. I know they kind of had that little bit of lull in the second half, but anything stand out to you that was impressive? I know everyone's talking about Duncan Robinson.
You know, what stood out to me, though, was Myers Leonard. And you could see what he means to that team. And also, in an empty arena, you can hear everything that Myers is doing because he's a very loud, very engaged young man. And, you know, you can see the energy that he brings and the difference he made on the defensive end. I mean, Duncan made a bunch of threes, and I talked to him afterwards, and he was like, man, I have to knock those shots down. There was nobody around him. Like, the joke was that Sacramento was social distancing from Duncan Robinson. But I thought just seeing Myers Leonard back on the floor for the first time since early February, what a huge first step for the Heat, and big for Myers, too.
Yeah, it seemed like defensively they were really maybe at their best when Myers was on the floor in that early part of the season before he went down. Speaking of the guy who was injured, it took Tyler Herro a little time to get going too. It looked like he had to get everything at the basket rather than shoot from downtown.
Yeah, you know, but again, it's he had good looks. You know, if you want to see Tyler struggle on a night from 3-point range, put it in a glorified scrimmage that will be forgotten by about Saturday and totally doesn't count. Again, you know, a guy who needs to get into a rhythm. But we've all seen what streaky Tyler can do. I mean, the moment he had against Philly, taking that pull-up three, that what is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? Oh, went in moment, you know, to give him a 1-point lead on that really weird play where Jimmy knocks the ball away from Embiid. Look, Tyler is going to have moments here. He just needs to find his rhythm. And luckily, even though we're all fixated on the season starting in a week, for the Heat, it's really about August 17th and getting ready for game 1.
Okay, I want to ask you how other people looked off the court. Jimmy Butler, how did you rate his Hall & Oates performance today?
The Hall & Oates performance by Jimmy Butler was awesome. I think it is the most impressive moment by Jimmy Butler in a Heat uniform to date. We're pretty close to it. Look, you know, Jimmy doesn't often put a lot of his personality out there. And so when I heard that he was filming a commercial a couple weeks ago, I was intrigued. And then I was told he was singing. And I'm like, what? And then to find out, we had known a couple days ago what was coming. To finally see it, that was impressive. I got to give Jimmy mad props for that. He absolutely crushed it.
He crushed it. He crushed it. Badioki, he's coming for that title whenever that gets back rolling.
He's the most competitive human being on this team. And if there was like a legitimate Badioki championship belt, he's going for it. No question.
All right, Tim, I want to wrap up with this. I was so happy to see last night in the post-game press conferences or Zoom conferences, whatever you want to call it, these guys were still having fun. We were still getting video bombs from Jimmy and Goran. So just the kind of overall feel of this team, do you think they're kind of settled into Orlando and getting used to the fact that, you know what, we're just with our brothers for the next few months?
You know, I think they're going to get more used to it in the next few days when they get Bam and Kendrick back at practice, probably as early as tomorrow. Bam and Kendrick might even be able to do some stuff today if they get out of quarantine, you know, in an optional kind of a glorified individual setting. You know, they talk about culture, Mike, for a reason. You know, they believe that the Heat way is built for something like this. Nobody envisioned a pandemic, obviously, but they think the toughest team, both mentally and physically, is going to have a great chance of walking away with Larry in October. That's what they're here for. And so far, I mean, look, there's 22 teams here in a really good mood, but there's just something about that Heat team that says they're embracing this maybe a little bit more than just about everybody else.